listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
As a parent, your life is your child.
With Luke, he's the whole world, you know?
He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and it just rips your heart out. You feel completely helpless.
But when you come to St. Jude, that is a whole nother level of care.
You have cutting-edge scientific research here, doctors at the top of their game, and there's nothing but love in everything that they do.
I asked my wife, I was like, what is this going to cost us? And then we did a little bit of research, and then we realized that no family ever receives a bill.
St. Jude covers the cost of everything so that we could focus on our family. St. Jude gave our family the chance to be together. They saved our son's life, and we did not pay a cent. And that wouldn't have been possible without St. Jude.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Right, folks, this is Thunder Thursday. Flash.
Ba-ba-boom.
Flash and boom, back.
We're back.
We're back.
We were supposed to have a big thunderstorm last night, but...
We did. Actually, when I came back from our meeting last night, I
good.
parked... I don't have off-street parking where I live, so I parked at 82 John Street.
Right.
Just as I was getting to the DMV building, it started coming down.
It rained hard.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of people.
Hard, but did it thunder and lightning?
I don't think so.
No, I fell asleep after Gardner hit that 3-run homer. I was out. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
But then
they lost
up.
Anyway.
They ended up losing, right?
Yeah, they're done.
He hit a monster shot into center field.
Yankees
and
cooked.
I fell asleep after that. But when I woke up this morning, there were lots of puddles.
Time to move to the Giants. The Yankees put a fork in them. So this is Tony Marmo.
This is Val Dwyer. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to everybody. Yep,
beautiful uptown Kingston.
Yeah,
heading into the fall.
Yep, I trying to navigate the cones, the traffic cones this morning coming down Broadway. I mean, they had a narrow, about the width of this table, and I'm saying.
But at least they're finally paving it, though.
They're paving it.
Yeah, the rain threw them off.
I think they did it purposely. They said, we're just going to mess with people today and make this so narrow that you got.
So I took a Beale Street to Old Savannah last night. They paved a Beale Street from Hudson Street all the way to the Brook Room. And it's like, that needed it really good.
Right.
So that is fun to drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they need to do Albany Avenue, and we're good. Because Albany Avenue is like, from over the hump to like Manor Avenue. It is like
mess.
A war zone.
Yeah.
We did Pearl Street, so that was good. I was happy about that.
It reminds me, we went to the Hooli. The Italians had a booth at the Hooli this last Sunday, and Kevin Cahill announced that the cultural center apparently is going to move forward. Apparently.
Is it?
That's what he said.
That's great. Yeah.
But he said, I've said this before. He said, I've said this before. So we'll see what happens on that one, because I saw what Lawrence saw. They were doing some road work. I didn't realize it was paving on a Beale, and I'm figuring, well, I wonder if that's the Irish Cultural Center getting, because they said there's going to be equipment starting, equipment there, and so we shall see.
Good. Well,
We shall
that's
see.
exciting.
Yep.
How was the Holy? I took advantage of
Well, it rained early until
Yeah.
around 2 o'clock, so the crowd was sparse at the beginning. But then by around 3 o'clock, it started to get pretty crowded, and they used the new city stage and put that at the bottom of Broadway, kind of facing up the hill.
Okay.
And then they had their
So outside of Mariners there?
Yeah,
Okay.
but facing up, up the hill. So, and then they had another stage where more cultural stuff, the step dancing. They had like the rock Irish bands there, and it was good. I think the crowds were lighter than in years past.
Mm-hmm. Kind of expected between the weather and pandemic. And
Yeah, exactly. I think the weather kind of scared people away. But it was a good time, We got the word out about our Italian festival, which is on October 10th. And so
Columbus Day weekend.
Columbus Day weekend, that's coming up, and we're kind of gearing up for that.
I'm actually going to be in Vegas on Columbus Day weekend.
Nice. Well, thank you for supporting us, too. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. Happy to do it.
Yeah, thanks. So we had a nice meeting last night, a little gear-up meeting for our Happy Christmas Fund.
I tell you, I was
great meeting.
Yes, I was very happy with the turnout. I was happy that everybody is so into it, especially the new people that haven't done it yet, like Rick and Dr. Alio, and Val's been here a while now, so she knows the routine. But I was just really excited.
This is my first rodeo.
I think hitting our goal is not. I think that's going to happen. I mean, the way
it's a lot of money, but we think we have a good plan. So we had
with all the stuff that Bob was talking about. I mean, this guy's got the flyers, the things he's
Lawn
putting in
signs.
yards. I mean,
the lawn signs.
He's got a lot of signs.
He's a machine, Bob Syracusano. Yeah, Bob Syracusano, great guy.
Yeah, the next thing we got to get working on before our October 6th meeting, Tony, is that letter, which basically looks good that I read last night.
Yeah.
But I want to start getting those labels together and start getting that ready to go. So when October 1st comes, I'm going to mail them all out. But
so the fundraiser is November 4th. It's going to be at Boyce's. It's been going on for 55 years, Lawrence.
Yeah, I think last year I announced it wrong. It's definitely 1966 is when it started. So
okay.
Val, you're the math whiz here. Is that 55 years?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's 2021.
So it starts at 7.
For the Happy Christmas Fund, that's going to serve how many? 435
last year it was
families?
430 families, 435 give or take, almost 1,100 children.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
So
that's
amazing. We deal with the same social workers and the school nurses. Some of them retire and move on, but then others take their place. But it's always right around the same amount of children.
Right.
And I'm excited. I can't wait.
So
there's a few things we have to do this year. We have to add a couple phone lines, to make it a little more
easier,
accessible. And I think, having Bob tell everyone how they raised $24,000 in an hour, made it a lot.
They did it a lot of that work before the
right.
fundraiser, right? You don't raise that during that time necessarily, but maybe you do. But we certainly appreciate all of our listeners and our underwriters and people supporting KCR, because this is how we stay on the air. Happy Christmas Fund is important, but if there's no KCR,
there's no radio, there's no
Happy Christmas Fund, or it would be much diminished, right? It would be a whole different gig. So, Rick Remsnyder, one of our hosts, Guy Greco, a Thursday host, was there. Greg Chorvis, Bob Syracusano, Greg's Wednesday host. Chief Joe Sinagra, is on the Wednesday show. Jen Fabiano is a guest on our show from Rondout Savings Bank. Val Dwyer, Arrow Construction. Yay. Dr. Ed Alio, who's one of the Medical Monday hosts.
Dr. Alio was there.
Let's see, Bill Calderera. John Finch never showed. We thought he was going to be there.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, didn't show up. But
no one from Cahill's office showed either, but with the circumstances with
right.
So
it's understandable. And condolences go out to the Cahill family, right? And Alice Cahill was an amazing woman. I remember her from my years at Kingston Hospital.
If I'm 67 when my mom dies, that's that'll be
pretty darn good.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah,
that means she'll be 95 when okay, because she's
that's amazing. So. Yeah, we're going to probably post our lineup somewhere, whether it's on Facebook or as we get closer.
As we get closer, we still have one more meeting prior to the, to the event.
Yeah.
But
we'll gear up.
When we started doing this a couple months ago, I was like, oh wow, $100,000, this and that. But now that we're getting close to it, and with all the ideas that we've come up with in the last 3 or 4 months, I think we're going to go over our goal.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And then when Bob announces the Sawyer Motors Challenge 2 months before the event, to get people excited. I mean, this guy is like,
yeah, he's a great guy. We're so lucky to have him in our community.
We are.
He does so much,
he's
even
amazing.
just
amazing.
Yeah,
he's
the
totally
car
amazing.
show.
No, after the meeting last night, he got in the car and drove to Lake George.
I know the car show up there. Shout out to Don Verity from PAML because they provide 10 hours of programming, right? There's 92.5 that day.
And not only that, when
promotions.
Don was there last night, and he's never done this before, at least in the 5 or 6 years I've been running it. Now that he's going to let us promo the thing for a month leading up, I'm going to send it to him after the show's over. All the,
the jingles, the Happy Christmas Fun jingles.
Right. So he's going to promote it for us, on top of Bob buying advertising too.
Right.
So, I mean.
It's crazy to think we're talking about Christmas. So this is what I'm thinking. It's like,
no, I know. But
coming.
actually,
it's
even
sneaking up
though
on
we
us.
have the radiothon on November 4th, most of the money doesn't get in until it always comes in by the end of by Christmas Eve. But we have to buy those cards like
in advance,
right after Thanksgiving, because me and my mother got to put it all together, give them to the social workers, give them.
So
to
you
the
need
nurses.
seed money.
Yeah, you want the families to have them,
on Christmas
before
morning.
Christmas, so they can go out and shop. And you don't want to give them something 2 days before Christmas because they probably have all their shopping done already.
Right. Yeah, so that's
the
timing.
After I give my mother the report this morning, I'm sure she'll be
very
ecstatic
happy
about what took place last night.
Good.
The other thing we're trying.
Most importantly, thank you to the Maxwell family for this is a major undertaking and keeping it alive.
I think this year's lineup, like Don was saying, is impeccable. I think we're headed in the right direction.
It's a good group of people.
And the fact that we don't have to have any other radiothons and just do it once a year, it's also easier on the listeners.
Yes.
I mean, George Post, every time we have a radiothon, he's the first one to call up and donate.
Kicking some money. Thank you, George.
He's probably gave it half of his pension already.
The other thing is, if you're listening out there and you're not on YouTube or a subscriber on YouTube, please do that. Please, when you get a chance, just Google in YouTube, Kingston Community Radio, and we'll pop up and just hit the subscribe button. You don't get any garbage. You just get cues on
like if a show posts
pops up.
Right.
Exactly. So it's a great way to watch KCR. You can see us.
Stay up to date. What's going on in the community?
Right. Speaking about that, what's going on in the community? What's concerned Kingston? What's happening?
Well, I don't know if you saw in the paper. I think it was
they're
this
going
morning
on
or
trial,
last
the pre-trial.
night.
Let's hope
the
Clegg
trial
doesn't mess
started.
that thing up.
What's that?
The pre-trial, the girl that caught the stray bullet.
Yeah,
that started yesterday.
Yeah, that started yesterday. So
let's hope Clegg doesn't screw that up.
Kudos to, I just want to say, and I always think about that, kudos to our community members who are going to serve on that trial on the jury. I think that's a very tough job, especially when you're dealing.
Is it the first jury trial since COVID? I mean, since our
it
stupid
is, but
bail
also
reform
just dealing
thing?
with the crime and being responsible for that, because you're dealing with, violent people that. So that's a little intimidating, and certainly appreciate people that are willing to do that. It's definitely a tough seat to sit in. So.
It
Thank
is,
you
but
to them.
as I understand it, from what the chief said and from talking with other people like Chief Sinagra and other law enforcement officials, they're pretty much they got the smoking gun and everything. I mean, it's just obviously you're innocent till proven guilty. I'm not passing judgment on anybody. I understand the way the law works, but I mean they found the gun. All right, the prints are on it. It matched the one of the girl, because didn't her brother
he got hit as well in the leg. Yeah.
Right, but the sister died. So
well,
he
said, I think he said in court yesterday, if you read it, that I didn't mean to kill her.
Right, the one was already apologetic.
Yeah,
right.
He was. So, but I think, some of the comments I saw on social media this morning, and some of the things people don't realize, and I think something that everybody needs to be educated on, is in the Freeman, and I kind of want to say I think this was irresponsible of them too, but they released the addresses of the people that gave footage,
yeah, that's
really
dumb.
Yes.
Why would they
and
do
they
that?
said, so-and-so who lives at, I'm sorry, they didn't say so-and-so. They said, there was a video obtained from the homeowner of 123 Main Street.
Right.
And there were 2 addresses. And that's all part of
that's supposed
bail
to be,
reform.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
is
a lot of the
ridiculous.
reasons,
that's not protecting the rights of,
right.
for someone
So-
to come forward.
Right.
Especially in New York, where people are very against snitching and whatever the
Right.
word,
So, but that's
I don't like that at all.
That's one of the things I think when you look at what's going on in New York State right now, and it's a perfect storm, and it's not just here, but it's really everywhere with the violence. And I think people need to educate themselves so that they can, really push against their elected officials to change the road we're headed down. But it's kind of this perfect storm of not only are they letting people out rather than the bail, right? But also they have this other side under bail reform where all the information is released. I read an article
it's not sealed
about
anymore.
right. So I read an article about there was a woman somewhere in Ulster County. This was pre-bail reform. There was a woman and her 14-year-old daughter actually witnessed a hit and run, a fatal hit and run. And they were the only witnesses, and they called it in. It led to the arrest of this man. This man was in jail. He was waiting trial. Bail reform takes effect, and he applies to be released, and he's released. And on his way out, they say, here's the name and address of the people. So now and it was from this woman's point of view. I have a 15-year-old daughter,
Right, that's
and you don't know. And
horrible.
listen, maybe this person's violent, maybe they're not. You don't know. But that is also part of this perfect storm of what's playing into violence, the increase in violence, is who wants to come forward and be a witness anymore. And that's why I was kind of passionate and very disappointed, some of the people that voted against the LPRs, the license plate readers in Kingston, is, listen, if we can't rely on witnesses anymore, we kind of have to think outside the box and do other things.
How are you going to catch the bad people?
How are you going to, so we kind of have to rely on technology a little bit more because people are reluctant. So, just a little bit of information for those people, because there were a lot of people who were confused why that information was released to the public, and that's why it's under the new bail reform law.
Yeah, there's so much negative chatter about bail reform. I'm not sure why our elected officials are not listening to that.
We're going down this road where we're victimizing criminals.
Yeah.
Rather than thinking of the actual victims, and it's a really slippery slope.
Yeah. Well, look, what's election day? November 2nd.
November 2nd.
There's an opportunity to put new people in. If you don't like the people that are making the laws now and the rules, get rid of those folks, put some new people in. This is our chance.
Message.
People get out there, vote, and if you don't like the way the world is being handled right now by the people that we put in office,
you mean the
we the people. Let's mix it up and change it.
Right.
I mean, I think we need kind of a clean sweep. A lot of our elected officials are not really responsive. They're become responsive to themselves and trying to stay in power, right? Mm-hmm. But not to their constituents.
Right.
And it's a real issue.
Right. Sometimes they get on and they just tell us that they're not telling us what they're going to fix. They're just telling us what we want to hear.
Yeah.
And we know that they're not going to do that. It's
Yeah.
just like,
it's challenging times. There's no doubt about that. And elected officials sometimes are not prepared for these challenges.
They made a mistake on the bail reform. They need to
I think something needed to
go
be
back
done.
and switch that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the crime will do a 180. Okay, I'm reading the Post right now this morning. An Uber driver last night is dropping somebody off in Times Square and catches a bullet and is dead.
Wow.
They weren't shooting at him,
Right.
but they were fighting on the street somewhere.
Right.
And this guy's just trying to do his job.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And he died?
He's dead now.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
like,
so
come
sad.
on, man.
New York City is dead to me. I don't.
Yeah.
I'll go
I mean,
back
I used to go there almost every weekend
I'm
and
done.
visit. I'm like
done.
not even.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Until they
I'm
start
done
taking
too.
things a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
And
it's
tightening
going to
things.
affect the economics. People
is.
just not. It has already, I'm sure. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to a high school classmate who is living in Denver, Colorado. We played baseball together in a high school baseball team. Rich Belizzi is his name. There's a bunch of Belizzis floating around Ulster County and Dutchess County. I think there were 9 or 10 in this family. But Dizzy, we call him Dizzy Belizzi.
Dizzy Belizzi.
Diz might be listening out in Denver.
Might be watching.
It's 2 hours before, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, you're not gonna. He says, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I said, okay, well, here it is. Get on YouTube, bub, and start listening. Sending in some money. So yeah, he just called kind of out of the blue. Called Norman Staffing, and I saw the numbers. Colorado. I said, this is some kind of a
sales call or
sales or spam
These
call.
days, it doesn't even have to be from Denver, Colorado. It
Right.
can be from
You
Newburgh. You think it's a local number.
Oh yeah, no, that's how they kind of parrot or mirror the numbers. Like, I have a 702 cell phone, and I see 702s turn out to be spam. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying I don't know. It's terrible. So. What else?
Well,
what else is going on out there?
Nothing. I think, I just want to take a moment. As we know, we have a 20-year anniversary on Saturday.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking yesterday just how divided our country is right now on literally everything. And just kind of, I was reflecting back on, that was, I think, a moment in time when we really were so united. That was the one.
Well, remember what Joe Biden said? I'm going to
thing.
unite this country when you elect me.
What's that?
The complete opposite.
Joe Biden.
Remember, he said, "I'm going to unite this country, get it back to where it was." The guy's a buffoon.
He can't remember how to do that. That's
Did you see Kamala yesterday? Gavin Newsom's about to be recalled. So there's, I guess I don't know what the uproar is. I think he didn't. They had very strict mandates during COVID in California, probably stricter than New York. I guess he was out during COVID eating at a restaurant without his mask on while he was making the rest of the state wear a mask. So they got mad. They're trying to recall him. So we haven't seen Kamala in months.
No, are you talking about the governor?
Yeah, Newsom.
I thought that he was at a. I thought he was at a wedding. I thought it was a wedding.
What does that mean? Recall him?
Like what happens to Cuomo?
Bye-bye.
Done. In
Cuomo
California,
him.
it's called.
Let's change the verb. Cuomo him.
He's being Cuomo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. So. No, we haven't seen Kamala Harris in months.
Impeachment,
and now she's she's out there like I can't. This is because she's California.
Yeah,
but she was a senator.
It's the difference between recall and impeach. I think maybe the recall is done maybe by the people, where impeach is done by
the recall. They do a recall, and all during the recall, if half of them say that he has to go, that's all they need.
So does it go to does it go to vote?
The elected official.
No, there's a guy. The guy, that radio host, Larry something. His name is Larry.
Yeah.
He's the one leading the vote. Whoever.
Charge.
Then they have a list
of
people that want to take his place.
I don't know.
So the guy that they want to take his place is a radio host, actually, Larry something. But he's actually.
Watch out, Tony. You might be.
Yeah.
No. We need Tony here. He's not going to California.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, forget that.
Yeah, but
you don't want to move there.
But look, thank you for bringing up 9/11.
Yeah, it always
Val.
sneaks
I think
so
it's,
quickly.
Yeah, and 20 years is pretty amazing that in a blink, and we know we've had some local. At least one death that I know of a Kingston family in 9/11. So, thoughts and prayers go out. There's a big.
My husband actually lost his cousin, who Patrick Danahy, and his mom Marianne Dwyer.
Oh,
so she's one of the Dwyers, and his wife was pregnant with their third child, who was actually born October 11th. And Diane Sawyer, she's one. Grace, the little girl that was born after her father died, is actually one of the babies that Diane Sawyer has been following. So she's going to be. I saw a clip. Grace Danahy is going to be.
9/11 babies, right?
Yeah, Friday night.
Right.
They interviewed Grace again. So that's Dennis's cousin, his daughter. So
there's a big 9/11 tribute down in the Ulster County Fairgrounds this Saturday. Mark Casapoli, who's the Veteran Services Director for Ulster County, putting that together. I think it starts at 3 or 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock I want to say, and goes till, I don't know, maybe 8, something like that. It's only 4 hours, and it's free. People just go in there. I'm sure there's going to be,
the Fireman's Park on
there's going to be tributes all over the place, memorial
right.
services. By the way, that's the recall election is September 14th for Governor Newsom. So it's a special election that.
That's Tuesday.
So it is a vote. So it goes to the
It's a
people.
vote, yeah.
Now now this has happened in California before. I don't know that all states have this written into their constitution.
With California, it is a recall, and in New York, it's impeach.
Okay.
But
I think we should go to the recall.
But the recall, the recall comes
Revote.
from the actual voters, the residents.
That's a
of
great
California,
idea.
Where in New York, your peers have to impeach you.
It kind of takes out the politics in a lot of ways. I feel like sometimes when you get into an impeachment, it becomes very political.
I could think of about 30 politicians in New York that need to take a hike.
What's that?
I said I could think of about 30 politicians in New York that get on their horse and get the hell out of here.
I mean, look, I think on a lot of these major issues in the country, it should be a referendum vote for everybody. Don't let the elected officials make these decisions. Let the people make the decisions.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I think it should go.
I mean, when all this stuff started happening with Cuomo, even me and my mother were talking about it. I was like, I thought his ego would not let him, he's like, I'm going to fight this. I thought that he would never step down, but I think the charges were so damning.
Significant.
That they were like, listen, pal, you got, if you don't want criminal charges.
Do you think he'll resurface, or do you think he's just going to kind of go off into the sunset?
Yeah. I mean, Spitzer's got a good job now. He's making like $250 a year. I know he didn't, grope women and, kill anybody's grandmother, but.
I'm sorry, who has a good job?
Spitzer.
Spitzer.
He walked. Yeah. I mean, he did some bad things, but he's got a, Google Spitzer. He's got a nice cush job right now.
Yeah.
He's not working in politics.
In the private sector,
Right, he's working in the private sector.
I just think Cuomo's a little different. I don't know if that's the last
thing with Cuomo is he's so arrogant in the way he was like.
So arrogant.
Just like, he was. Some Italian people were straight up offended by the things that he said.
Right.
Tony is Italian. I'm Italian. We hug and kiss people. Like, dude, what does that mean? Every Italian is a groper now? Get out of here! I mean, come on. Tony's never groped me.
Right. Exactly.
My favorite part of that was when I didn't know that when that was part of crossing the line. When did it become bad? When did that happen? That hug? I'm like, you're the one who made that. You made that law. And your sexual harassment policy.
That's true. He was
the one that came back to bite him right in the butt.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So it's like you don't even. Yeah.
So we have a nice show today, right? We have 7:30. We have John Maserjian coming on, telling us about all these bad storms and there's a lot of weather.
It's a great time of the year for Maserjian with Hurricane Larry on the way and all kinds of stuff.
And 8:00 we have Danielle and Eddie Parker who are going to talk about. There's a great event going on Sunday at the Bowery Dugout, a car motorcycle show. It's all to benefit St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which is a great organization.
Right. Eddie Parker, legend.
The legend.
High school football legend.
Yeah.
Danielle, great person. And then at 8:30 we have Tony DiMarco, who is managing director for the GCSCEN Foundation. It's kind of a social entrepreneurial organization that is trying to grow leaders, trying to grow responsible leaders. And Tony and the founder, CEO, Mike Caslin, were on the show when we were in the old studio, so it's been a while.
Good.
It's been a while. Lawrence, how long have we been here now? How long have we been here?
Our first show was
May?
Hold on. March 27th, 2020.
March 27th.
Oh, wow. So, like 12 days after the pandemic?
So it was, we figured out we figured out we had to leave over there when the new year came because the heat wasn't working, and me and my mother were sitting at our desks with like ski jackets on.
Oh my gosh.
My mom's like, I think it's time to go. So anyway, make a long story short, it took me, my mother, Nan, and Bill Clunan about 3 weeks to hammer it all out. We signed the lease in the end of January, and we were not supposed to move until April 1st. But then when the pandemic came on, they had this thing built in like 56 days.
Wow.
So we got in and out like literally like a week, because remember it was like St. Patrick's Day when basically everything.
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th.
Because I flew on the day of the leap year, when it was February 29th of 2020, and I was walking around in the airport in Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, God, people are acting weird. And I've just started seeing people wearing masks.
Yeah,
and they were just starting to talk about it. And 2 weeks later, it was like,
didn't know what was coming. We didn't know what, and I didn't think we would still be.
I know.
But school is opening. When's school opening?
So yesterday, my kids went back. Saugerties went back Tuesday, and Kingston went back yesterday.
Wait, Saugerties doesn't celebrate a Jewish holiday? Wasn't Rosh
Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah, yeah. Rosh
because
Hashanah,
Kingston kids didn't go back to Wednesday, right? Yeah.
I think so.
I think, yeah.
Well, one of my friends is a teacher, and I think she did. Yeah, she went back Wednesday. She teaches in Saugerties, though. I don't know.
Yeah, Saugerties started Tuesday because my nephews go to Saugerties, and then Andrew started yesterday. Molly starts today. She's going to Lourdes, so they start.
Trying to figure out what year it is in the Jewish calendar. It's like
what?
Yeah, it's like 5,000 something. It's 5,700 something, I think.
Whoa, wait! They don't think it's the same year? I know they think Jesus is still coming, where Catholics think he's, I know that whole routine, but hold up. They don't
5781.
2021?
5781.
Yeah, it's 5,781. So Happy New Year to all of our Jewish listeners and friends out there. And I want to also put and I know we have to go to break real quick, sincere condolences to the Kirshner family. Amy Kirshner just passed away last week, and she was buried, I don't know, was that Monday on Labor Day?
Yeah, and you, Lou, and Richie were like the first.
Yeah, we started.
You guys started it out here.
Feel Good Friday show, and Nina joined, and Amy was an amazing person, and was the power behind the throne. Lou will probably tell you that. She was an amazing woman.
She was a very nice lady.
Which is great. So condolences to the Kirshner family. Heidi Kirshner, CEO of the YMCA, is a guest on KCR. So, it's sad. But, she lived an amazing life, 85 years old, and battled, she battled MS for years, for 60 years.
Yeah,
all right, Lawrence, let's go to break, huh?
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in Kingston needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org. Produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, this is Thunder Thursday. Lots of flashing.
Lots of booming.
Lots of flashing and booming going on. And we have a guest from our great guest from Central Hudson, John Maserjian. There's been a lot of flashing and booming going on, big guy, right?
I know. This is an appropriate theme for today's show. Holy cow. But we dodged a bullet last night. Of course, we certainly had a storm system come through, and there was quite a bit of noise here and there. But very fortunately, we didn't see the sorts of problems that were potentially anticipated. Between the flooding and winds and reports of the possibility of tornadoes and strong winds. It was very, very scattered. These more severe conditions. So we're very grateful that we didn't see the sort of problems we have in the recent past.
Yeah, John Maserjian, Central Hudson, joining us now. And why is this such a crazy hurricane season? I mean, I think we're not even through it yet, right? I thought just recently I said, well, they're about midway.
Yeah, I think we just crested the peak, but there's still a lot of activity out in the Atlantic and the Caribbean. It's been a few years of a lot of hurricane activity this time of year. The storms have been more severe. They're coming a little more often. It says a lot of what we need to do as a community and society to be better prepared for this kind of weather, since it seems to be the new normal, unfortunately.
Anybody figure out what's...
there's a lot of talk about climate change contributing to this, a change in the weather patterns. So there's more to do in terms of community resilience. And so, the utility companies are certainly putting a lot of effort into strengthening the electric system in terms of replacing older poles and doing a better job at tree trimming, increasing investment there. And at the same time, we're seeing quite a bit of tree disease happening because of invasive species and certain both insects and funguses. So we're trying to work with property owners to have some of these damaged trees removed before they have a chance to fall, and then also spread those diseases. So,
it's all in a day's work.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
John, I overheard that they're going to be converting the old Xena school into a Linesman school. Is that?
Oh no, I have not heard that.
See that you got to come on KCR to find out what's going on.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, is it a private? Yeah, I don't know of our involvement in that. It may be a private company doing this, perhaps. In association with one of the community colleges.
One of my coworkers told me yesterday that they had read it, and that's all the information I have. Other than that, I was kind of hoping maybe you knew, so I'll have to go back and
check the source. Fact check that.
Fact check that. Yeah. I don't want to be starting false rumors, but that's what I heard.
We are building a new training center and power control center in Lake Katrine.
Right.
Adjacent to our what we call our Kingston district headquarters. That's going on now, and that the training center will begin construction probably in 2024, and the power control center is going to be put into place now. So, and we'll have we're currently building what we call a pole yard for lineman training at that site, where line crews can train on poles, energized and de-energized, to sharpen their skills or to bring new linesmen aboard and have them, learn the trade and demonstrate their abilities. So that's taking place now.
Yep.
But this is interesting. The Xena Elementary School. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's so important. I think there's always such an emphasis on going to college, but you can really make a great living in that profession. And, not everybody's cut out to go to school for 4 years, or for, whatever reason it might be. Maybe it's, because they just don't, they're done with school after high school, or financial reasons. So I think that's great. I hope that we can also, find some other things for, graduating students to be able to, job opportunities, so that they can stay in the area and make a good living and not be forced out of the area. So I'm glad to hear.
There's plenty of jobs for people to stay around. Now the question is, are they decent paying jobs?
That's what I mean. An linesman is a decent paying
$60,000 a year job, so you can afford rents and you can afford to stay around here.
John, what is a linesman? Do you know what the starting pay is for someone in that profession?
Rough.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah,
it's up there.
It is very dangerous work.
Right.
You do have to be quite skilled. It takes years to become proficient. You usually start as a groundsman, and that's in the $60,000 range, and then it goes up from there.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
I think it's close to six figures.
That's appropriate, by the way.
Yeah.
That's appropriate. I mean, that's for that kind of job and risk and, knowledge that you need to acquire. I mean, it's,
Right.
It's not like packing groceries at Hannaford. I mean, God bless. It's a good job, too. Flipping burgers. But
you make a very good point about college alternatives, and the energy field is one where there's going to just be growing opportunities, both in the system upgrades that are necessary, plus in the renewable energy field. That's going to grow dramatically in the next 10 years, and you don't need a college degree for all positions within those trades. I mean, there's plenty to do. Where the rubber meets the road, where the installations come in, we need people to do this, and they have to know what they're doing. And there's plenty of trade associations, and even the BOCES schools in our area provide excellent education, and heating, cooling, and ventilation, HVAC. Installing more efficient heating and cooling systems. That's coming too.
All the trades.
Yeah, it used to be. My dad gets upset. My dad, my dad's done very well for himself, and he always, he took a couple of business courses at SUNY Ulster, but he went to BOCES. And I know when I was in high school, a lot of kids were kind of sent to BOCES, like, if there were behavioral problems, it was kind of to get them out. And my dad always got upset with that, because it is really a viable option for a career path. So now, going along those lines, talk to me. So what is the recruiting process for, trying to recruit people to get them into this training center at Central Hudson? Are you connecting with the high school or through BOCES, or how is that? How would one go about knowing that is an option?
Yeah, it is an all of the above approach. We're working with local school districts, but also community service organizations where there may be, I'll say, underprivileged students who don't have a path, and we provide internships. Not just for the college students, but also for high school kids who are looking for a career or a direction.
Right.
So we have a community to work program that takes place in Poughkeepsie and Newburgh, and I think we're going to start it in Kingston too.
Good.
And we'll offer we'll pair the students with our employees and take them to a work day, and it's generally a summer program, so it's designed to show them what career opportunities exist in the utility industry, and at Central Hudson specifically, and if they're interested in pursuing it, we can guide them into a path as to how they might be able to apply for full-time employment.
So kind of like a shadowing day.
We're also Pardon me?
So kind of like a shadowing day where they can go, shadow day where they can observe, and that's good.
It's part shadow and it's part work too. We'll give them something something meaningful to do. That we need done. So they get a sense of accomplishment as well, and it's this. I think this. Come to think of it, the whole program was put on hold these last couple of years. But
right.
That's right. But we'll start it up again. Once we have the clearance to do so. So that's one way we do it. We also put out job notices in all the electronic media. So all the online job sites. So where we have a pretty broad reach when it comes to looking for folks who might want a career in the utility industry. We attract people from not just the electrical trade, but also from other trades, construction or in HVAC. Folks who are good with their hands, not afraid of heights, and willing to work hard. I mean, it is a very difficult job. It's all hours, holidays, nights, weekends. You're called upon to do what you need to do whenever there's a problem, or there's plenty of routine work to do as well. And not only do we bring in our own employees and own employment, we hire a lot of contractors too. Mm-hmm. And these contractors are always looking for workers as well. And there's reasons why someone may want to work for a contractor. I mean, you travel around. You're not necessarily in one place. You have the opportunity to move. For some folks, that's very appealing. For others, they'd rather stay in one place. So there are opportunities not just with the utility companies, but with these electrical contracting companies too.
John, can you give a website for if folks are looking for Central Hudson jobs or opportunities, or
yes,
what would that be?
You go to www.centralhudson.com and click on employment opportunities.
Great.
And we're hiring quite a bit lately.
Right.
One reason is because there's more work. Second is there are quite a few retirements taking place. So we need to bring in new people so that they can learn the jobs and also to handle the amount of work that's going on.
Right. So there's a lot. I'm on the website right now. There's a lot of jobs there. Some of them look like you need 13 master's degrees to do some of these.
A lot in IT, and engineering positions.
Right.
Also.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that too.
Yeah. But this is an interesting job. Billing and rates configurator. That looks like a hard job.
SAP,
billing. SAP. Yeah, that looks like a hard job.
That's a accounting software, right?
Oh,
SAP?
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, speaking of which, we just transitioned our customer information system to our legacy system that was installed in 1983, believe it or not, to a new SAP system. And that transition took place September 1st. Getting there was a real effort, and I just want to extend an apology to our customers who tried to reach us during this transition stage, because we had some extensive training happening in the summer to get our customer service representatives up to speed on the new system. It's like learning a new language. It's so very different from what we had. And right now we're using the new system. It's new to a lot of our employees, although they have gone through that training program. So it's going to take a little bit to get us back up and running fluently as we had in the past. But it's very necessary. The old system, of course, was no longer supported by any software.
Well, 1983. That's like.
Yeah, let's see. How old are you then?
6.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's so many changes taking place in the energy industry. Folks have more choices on how they can source their energy efficiency. They can sign up for community solar. They can put solar panels on their own homes. They can buy energy from third parties, and the accounting that took place to try to manage all that with the old system was over the top. Many of our bills were calculated manually, so we needed a system that was flexible enough to handle these changes and changes that will no doubt happen in the future. So we're very, very happy to finally get this under our belts. There is still a learning curve we have to get through, but I guess for our customers, the biggest change is that they now have a new account number, a new 11-digit account number.
Okay, so that's why that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the account number, you'll see the account number on your next bill. So if you do pay through a third-party financial institution, be sure that you update the account number with your bank so that they apply the payment to the correct account. Or you can go onto centralhudson.com and log into My Account, and you can see your account number that way too.
Okay.
I want to just circle back a little bit to aging infrastructure, and I'm thinking about Hurricane Ida, which is my mom's name, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yes. And down in Louisiana, I thought I heard down in the New Orleans area that folks are going to be out of power for like a month.
We're starting a lot of rumors today.
No, I think that's no, but I think that was pretty recent. I just heard it's significant time in Texas.
How bad is
Texas
it in comparison to Katrina? How bad was this to New Orleans?
Yeah, I think this storm didn't pack the winds that Katrina did.
Yeah,
but it was certainly a major flooding event.
Yeah.
But that said, all 8 transmission lines that feed New Orleans were down.
Right.
They were physically blown over by the storm. I think they have more than half of the outages restored now.
Oh, they do.
Okay. They had about I think they had 1 million out to begin with, and last I heard it was down to about 250,000. So maybe 3/4 are back on. And this is about a couple of weeks after the storm came through. Some may not get power for a long time, and it depends on what happened to the roadways and
right,
flooding.
Right.
And you may have to wait for some of that flooding to subside. But also, some buildings require major repair before they can hook back up to power.
Yeah.
So that may be a factor in the extensive time to get power back on to some of these more isolated areas. I would say that a month would be the exception. Most people have power back on, before then. But there are a lot of what we call stragglers, areas that just sustain so much damage. The roadways aren't passable yet, so it could take some time to get that straightened out before power can be restored.
I'm not sure why folks live down there.
I
mean, it happens a fair amount,
I know,
right?
and we are really, we are really kind of blessed where we live that we don't have, we have blizzards, but
typically no severe weather.
Yeah, there was actually I got an alert yesterday. There was a tornado warning in the Hudson Valley area. But I agree.
But it's I mean, just to think that they built that city underwater to begin with.
I know.
I mean, duh.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Under sea level.
Yeah,
Come on.
The levees have been much improved. A lot of their storm hardening has taken a lot of storm hardening has taken place. I should say.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that they still have to replace the pumps. They're quite old. I know the utility company there is Entergy. They, of course, have their hands full, but it's the same company that had to deal with the Texas crisis.
I thought
this winter. So it's the South is experiencing some major problems. Everything from superheat and tornadoes and storm activity to cold snaps below freezing in parts of the country that rarely experience anything like that.
Speaking about that, I saw a little article this morning that the Old Farmer's Almanac is predicting a very cold winter.
Oh, that's just awesome.
I thought I would just lift your days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go out there and get some warm clothes.
Weird summer. I mean, even it was
everything
either
is
90
weird.
or like high of 71.
The whole world
Is
planet
weird.
is weird.
It's weird.
It's just out of kilter. It's
Yeah.
out of kilter, and the weather
It
is
is.
out of kilter with everything else.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
I know. We're too much water here and not enough water out west. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I was talking to my wife's cousin yesterday. He lives in Arizona, and he said they've gotten more rain in Arizona than they have in decades. It's
kidding.
crazy.
Wow.
Yet across the border, it's dry as a bone. You know,
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
unusual.
So variable. I don't know. I don't know.
You know, it's funny you talk about weather and kind of events. And when we were out at Yellowstone this summer, and we were taking a tour, and our tour guide was telling us that they actually now kind of allow the forest fires there to just burn out on themselves rather than to intervene, let it be more of a natural process.
Yeah.
So, which I found, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you know, another issue out west is that the reservoirs are down, and these reservoirs serve not just for drinking water and irrigation, but for power generation.
Mm-hmm.
So if the reservoirs get too low, they can't generate power from these large hydroelectric dams.
Yeah.
So they have to look at, alternative sources. So,
John, you should listen to our
8:30 guest.
Listen to our 8:30 guest. Tony DiMarco is going to be talking about Evergreen Water Solutions Accelerator, because there's water problems all over the planet, certainly in our country. There's water issues, either too much or not enough.
Yeah.
And water quality is an issue, and Tony DiMarco is going to be talking about that, so I can't wait to listen to him.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Coming in the
That's
studio?
a great lineup.
Yeah. So listen in. I know you got to get to work eventually, but put us on in the background, and it's so
interesting.
Good. Listen, thank you for being on again. One of these years, we'll get you in the studio. If Scott Harrington were here, he would say you could come. Yeah, you can come in November and bring me a birthday cake. You did that one year. Scott was so jealous.
Right.
How come he?
Oh, yeah, I remember that at the old studio.
Yeah. Well, thank you to Central Hudson for being an underwriter, and thank you, John, for being with us this morning.
Yeah, you're the best,
You're
man.
quite welcome, and thanks for having me
Thanks.
once again. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy this.
Well, we
Have
appreciate
a good day,
you.
guys. And
Thanks.
I'll listen in to Tony's show.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, listen in at 8:30. Tony DiMarco. Yes, great.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Okay.
All the best.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, John. All right.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of weather
lot of stuff
nonsense
going
going on.
There
and,
is, man.
You know, it's just ridiculous. I don't know
So
what.
where did you see the Farmer's Almanac told you the cold winter?
Cold winter. Yeah, I buy one every year, but it was in my news feed. So Farmer's Almanac predicts this winter could be the coldest one we've seen in years.
I guess that's good for us skiers.
Yeah,
We won't
it's
have
good
to
good
worry
for that.
About, we don't
right.
have to worry about all the. They'll
Let's
be
see,
they'll be making plenty of snow, right?
They have an 80% accuracy, right? Farmer's Almanac.
They
So,
do.
Yeah.
They're very.
So there you go.
They're very accurate.
It's going to be so cold across the country. Actually, taken to calling it the season of shivers.
What's that this winter?
Yes.
Did they come up with that, or is that your?
No. I'm reading out of the article now. Yeah. Painful combination of above average snowfall, which is good for skiers, below average
Good for you.
temperature, right, are expected in the New England area. So that's us, parts of the Appalachian and throughout the Ohio Valley. So pick up a copy of the old Farmer's Almanac.
I don't think I want to read it. It doesn't sound like I want to read
There's
it.
a lot of cool stuff in it. It's good
Val, you're not a
bathroom reading.
skier, are
I
you?
don't-
By the way,
You
yeah.
don't ski, Val? You don't ski?
Ski.
No, I like to sit inside the lodge. Warm
okay.
drink.
You're the one by the fireplace.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, Tony, you want to go to break? Since
Yeah,
we're
let's go to
guests?
break. Let's
All
go
right.
to break.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Grammer. Wounded Warrior Project supports injured veterans by connecting them with fellow warriors, by serving them through mental health and wellness programs, and by empowering them to live on their own terms. No one should face a battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
As a parent, your life is your child.
With Luke, he's the whole world, you know?
He was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and it just rips your heart out. You feel completely helpless.
But when you come to St. Jude, that is a whole nother level of care.
You have cutting-edge scientific research here, doctors at the top of their game, and there's nothing but love in everything that they do.
I asked my wife, I was like, what is this going to cost us? And then we did a little bit of research, and then we realized that no family ever receives a bill.
St. Jude covers the cost of everything so that we could focus on our family. St. Jude gave our family the chance to be together. They saved our son's life, and we did not pay a cent. And that wouldn't have been possible without St. Jude.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
All right, folks, we're back on. Yeah, sorry, I just dropped a little
side conversation, a little sidebar here. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Thunder Thursday, isn't it? This is flash.
Boom.
Boom, flash and boom. So we have no birthdays. However, I want to give a shout out to my son Lucas's partner, Lauren.
Happy birthday, Lauren.
Lauren is mom to Cameron and Emma. I think Cam's 14 or 15 now. Emma is like 10, and Adrian is Lucas's and Lauren's son, our grandson, 5 years old. Adrian's going to be 5 on October 1st.
Wow.
We just watched them. That was a Saturday overnight. I was beat on Sunday.
I was going to say you were tired Sunday.
Yeah, the only good thing was Leanne spent an hour with them doing a Lego, and I was like watching the Yankees lose again. They just suck right now.
We're moving to football.
We're moving to football. So let's introduce our guest. So no birthdays, but happy birthday, Lauren.
Happy birthday to Lauren. So during our break, we were joined in the studio, if you're watching, by Danielle Parker and Eddie Parker. And yay, big yay, welcome. Welcome.
Thank
you.
No, I'm awake.
I've been up too early. That's
yeah. That's it. Need a nap now.
You're tired, right? You're supposed to sleep in.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
But so I invited you guys in the studio to talk because you have a big fundraiser coming up on Sunday for St. Jude's, which is very close to my heart. I know, great organization. But first I thought we'd talk a little bit about Eddie and Danielle. You guys are really very active in the community. Danielle and I actually go way back. Danielle was actually my first babysitter.
Oh.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. That's a fact. That's a factoid I didn't know.
Fun fact. And we're not really. Well, I guess maybe we are. What are we? 6 years apart? But,
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
That can't work. Don't do the math on this one.
How old are you?
Stop. No.
I was born in 77.
I was born in 73.
Okay, 3 years.
All right, there's no secrets on radio.
Danielle was 10 and she was 8 when she was watching it.
Yeah. I'm not telling you.
My mom didn't just trust me. My brothers.
Right.
But, so, and we grew up, I was in her house every Saturday night. I bet you didn't know this about me. We went every Saturday night to
roller skating.
Nope. Orange County Fair Speedway.
What?
For the races.
I
am a redneck.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
Dirt in your face.
Shotgun.
Wow. Well, actually, it was my dad who turned us.
Yes.
Wow.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Every Saturday night we did that
That's
growing up. And her sister Jen.
Yeah.
Now, what race is there? What little?
The modified. Yeah.
Modified.
It was
Dirt
either
track.
Accord or Orange County Speedway.
Have you ever seen her drive her truck?
That's how she learned.
Danielle.
No, you.
Right.
I seen her
spinning out. Yeah, right.
I don't have a truck.
Yeah. Would you like to drive on the Orange County Speedway? Would you?
That would be
Do
cool.
that?
We should try that.
Fun. I actually, when I was in Indianapolis this summer, I wanted to go to Indy 500. You can, right? But it's the reservation list is like a year long. So yeah,
that'd be cool though.
Yeah,
it really
cool.
cool.
Albany. They do it in Albany. Sean did it in Albany.
Really?
And you getting like Porsches and
It's a good auction item at like a fundraiser.
It would be a good auction.
Well, there you go. Go get it and bring it on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Real good one.
So you're two Kingston natives.
Yeah.
All right, little background.
Born and raised in
Danielle.
Kingston.
All right, good.
Both of us.
Born and raised.
What else? What else after you were born? Anything else?
Now I'm here. Now I'm here.
You went from born to here.
Yep, born to here. Look at that. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and Eddie, we all know Eddie Parker wears many hats. My favorite hat is the DJ hat. The DJ hat. Start a party.
You got half a hat on today, though. You got half a hat.
Yeah, I said we're wearing a visor.
Love music. She's like, you're wearing a visor. There's no sun out.
All right.
No, lots of music. Love music. Been DJing since 14. So went to college.
Wow.
You know, played football.
Football was a big thing.
Played college football. A little bit of pro football. Came back in the early '90s and started working for the state of New York. Had kids, beautiful kids.
Sydney and Ari.
You met me. It went all downhill.
Avon, right?
Carrington. Yep. So we got
Carrington.
Got our son Carrington.
Your daughters are beautiful.
And we got 5 great grandkids. And
Wow.
They're great.
I bet you didn't know that about them.
Great grandkids. They're grandkids. They're fantastic.
I was wondering. I mean, we skipping generation. What happened? I missed the whole thing.
Eddie, how the hell old are you?
I was sleeping in.
What year were you born?
Yeah. Picking them up from work. I'm picking them up from work. Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
Well, you two are always two people that always step in. And I know when I was doing my pop-ups for Concern Kingston with the violence, you guys were at every event helping me with that. And then, for the vigil for DJ Mason, we were talking earlier, her trial started they're starting the pre-trials this morning. You guys were there to help set up at the vigil at Dietz Stadium and bring your system. And so you guys are always willing to step up for the community. And I know that... I always find it amazing when people have tragedy. Danielle, you lost your father a couple of years to brain cancer. And I always think it's special. We have certain families in our community, like the Kelder family with Ryan, the Ryan organization, and the Gruner family with Rosemary Gruner. I always find it so inspiring, and I admire when people take such a tragedy and such a dark time of their life and try to turn it into something positive.
Right.
So St. Jude's Hospital, let's talk a little bit about St. Jude's. It's for
and how you connected to them.
Yeah, and how you connected. And
I connected with them a couple years. Well, I mean, I found out while my dad was sick that he was a big advocate. He loved St. Jude. He'd like, what
Children's
a lot
Hospital.
of people do.
Right, Children's Hospital.
You don't realize it, but people do. They give them money all the time. And I realized
every month, my credit card.
Speaking to him at one point when he was sick, he said that he would like to continue that. So because of COVID, I couldn't do anything last year, but I did, a girlfriend, well, actually a friend of my dad's, really good friend of my dad's, his wife, Patty, she made masks. They're like motorcycle masks, and I sold them, and I sold $700 worth of them.
Wow.
And it was like $5 a pop, so it's a lot of masks.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do a function, so I just donated all that money to St. Jude's. That was my charity last year because I couldn't really do anything else. This year, I said, I'm over this. I need to do something big because when my dad was still alive, I did a huge fundraiser for him personally.
Yep.
That didn't go to St. Jude's, but that was for him personally. And I wanted to do this now for the kids. I did it for him, now I want to do it for the kids. If you go on the St. Jude's website, it's just amazing that nobody gets a bill. It is just phenomenal.
I know that nobody and it makes
nobody.
You know, I mean, it gives me goosebumps.
If you're lucky enough to have a healthy child at this moment in this day and age, you're blessed, honestly. And a lot of people are not.
Yep.
And it's sad.
It is sad. It's not something you have a child with cancer.
And you just, I mean, not even just cancer, any child who is sick, but this is specifically for cancer.
Right.
But if we can just raise anything and give these, these families.
So what's the event Sunday? Tell us about the event.
The event is going to be a motorcycle /
where?
hot rod at the Bowery Dugout. Well, we're starting at Myron Liquors in the parking lot. You can
on 9W.
Yeah, the one on 9W,
right
down in town of Ulster.
So you can come if you have a motorcycle or a hot rod or any kind of cool car, anything you think people want to look at. From 10 to 11.
Your dad was a big hot rod.
My dad was a huge hot rod guy. He had Camaros and he loved anything that went fast. So from 10 to 11, you can come and you can, pre-register your bike or your car. It's $25 per driver, $20 per passenger.
Okay.
At that point, you get a bracelet that gets you into the barbecue at the Bowery Dugout after the ride.
Okay.
So you don't have to have a motorcycle or a car or anything to come to the event. You just go to the Bowery at 1, pay $20. Kids under 12 are free. And then we're going to have a band. The score is going to be playing. We have a dunking booth, which this one's going in. And other people that I'll list. I have a bouncy house for the kids. I hired Benny's Tropical Ice.
Nice.
For him to come and, sell his ice to people. But the dunking booth is going to have Eddie Parker, Tony Davis.
Wow.
My kids are very excited about that.
Oh, no. Trash talking.
My brother.
I know it, yeah.
My brother-in-law, Tony Trosha. Suzanne Timbrook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Another guest in there, too.
Wait a minute. I'm missing somebody. Hold on. I have it written down. And just as of this morning, Randy Kelder will be going into the dunking booth.
Oh, good. Good for Randy.
And I believe that Pat Garrigan is going in as well.
Okay.
And he is running for town supervisor in Hurley.
Yep.
So I believe he's going in as well. So that's Eddie, Tony Davis, Suzanne Timbrook, Tony Trosha, Randy Kelder, and Pat Garrigan. Anybody can go in the booth, though. If you just come to me and go, I want to go in the dunking booth, sure, we'll put you right in.
Don't worry, I'll be volunteering people. I don't know.
There will be a $10 for 3 throws, because all the money from that is also going to go towards St. Jude. So I'm trying to get people in there who will talk a lot of trash and really want people, to spend money on that. We're going to do a 50-50. I'm not going to have raffles. It's just too much. Just people have a good time. What did you say before? You said something else. I can't remember.
Oh, so the ride, just so people know, because a lot of people have been asking me.
The ride, yeah.
So the ride's going to go from the town of Ulster. It's going to be about an hour and 45-minute ride. So it'll be escorted by the sheriff's department.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's great.
I just got the chills.
My dad worked for the sheriff's department.
So they're going to escort the ride. So the way it looks is going to be quite a few bikes. And, we're going to end up going down by 209 through Hurley.
Okay.
Come back around the back way to the reservoir, if you're familiar with the area, and then end up on 28, go up 28 a bit, Phoenicia, and come up back through Hunter and come back around. So it'll be a beautiful ride. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with the area that'll be coming up from the other areas that are on the motorcycle.
It'll be really pretty out.
It's going to be gorgeous out. Great ride. End up back at the Bowery Dugout where Jeff Lipton, who has just been phenomenal through this whole thing. Jeff's been just amazing.
Jeff has opened his entire business to us.
I mean, just shut it down. And, hopefully we're going to have one of the town of Ulster the police department guys will do some of the traffic and stuff out there.
So people who are not involved in the ride, just so everybody is clear, the parking lot at the library right across the street next to Pizza Hut, Jeff has contacted them, and they've given us that whole lot.
Oh, that's great.
So if you're not in a car, during the ride, you park across the street. There's a crosswalk there. We're going to have cones. There's going to be somebody escorting people across the street. If you are in the ride, you are going to park in the Bowery Dugout parking lot. It'll change into a bike/car show. Everybody can look at the stuff afterwards. That'll be really, really cool, I think. So that's what's happening there, just so everybody knows where they're parking.
Now, because I know God bless you for undertaking this. I know, like, you don't have a website or anything like that because you're
It's kind of a
two-man band here. But is there a way that people can pre-register before, or no? It's that
We're
day
not going to do pre-registration.
because it's too
Show
much.
up.
Well,
Yeah,
we
show
thought
up.
about it, and then we talked about it, and I remember we pre-registered for my dad's event, and so we lost our tickets, or they didn't.
Okay.
And it just got to
Too
be
much.
a little too much. Next year, maybe we will change that. It's somehow we talk
Yeah.
to Jeff, but for right now, there is no pre-registration.
The weather looks good.
Yeah, the weather looks great. Yeah.
The pre-registration is good because you can get a gauge on, like.
Yeah, sometimes
we're
it is,
meeting
yeah.
Jeff, and he's like, you just don't you don't know if you're
You
gonna
don't know
have
what you're gonna
500.
get.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, especially with food, he said,
I think it's going to be a really good event.
Yeah.
People can eat there. If you
Oh
order.
yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
have a big barbecue.
So
Jeff's
got food.
So it's like I said, when you get
Oh,
if you're
geez.
in the ride, you get your bracelet. That's your way into the barbecue. If you're just
Yeah.
coming for the event, like the barbecue
Right.
itself, it's gonna be $20. You get a bracelet.
Okay, so great.
You can also go into the restaurant.
Yep, the restaurant will have
eat.
seafood as
So
well.
if you don't want the barbecue, like burgers and stuff,
Right,
you can
right.
go into
You're
the restaurant.
fancy. You
Yeah,
want
if you want to be
lobster.
fancy, you can go right on in.
But
and
you
have a
figure there's
seafood.
going to be a lot of people
Not
who
fancy.
who's never been there who say, I'd like to go try this
Yeah.
seafood.
The restaurant is going to be open. We're going to have a full
Best
bar
seafood in
inside or
Kingston.
outside.
We're good.
Very
Best
good.
seafood
Yeah.
It's
in
really
Kingston.
good.
Yeah, it's been open a
Bowery.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Billion
good.
years.
So show up between 9 and 11 to register.
10 and 11.
Okay, I'm sorry, between 10 and 11 to register,
register
your
for the
car.
ride.
Iron Park at Legacy.
And then the ride leaves at 11.
Yep. Well,
11:15.
Okay.
whenever we can get
Yeah,
out.
whenever we get everybody organized.
Okay.
But we'll all be in that parking lot.
Okay.
Now, what's the group you ride with? Who is it?
So I don't have a group. So
Oh, okay.
the organization that I'm involved in, they're just excellent, is the Hudson Valley Biker Network. So I got involved with them a few years ago because I started doing the motorcycle nights.
At the
On Wednesdays, Frozen Rainbow,
right,
where
right.
in different locations a couple years ago. So they approached me about coming on with those guys. So Ray Zacconi and Eddie Ramirez started this. They started this, I guess, 7-8 years ago in Hudson Valley, and it's grown. When they started, they got up to about 2,000. They're up to almost, I think we're up to almost 6,500 members.
Wow.
network. That's great. Hudson Valley.
And they really, they do, these guys,
Benefits,
like all these benefits they
That's
do.
amazing.
Raising
Shirt-
money
like
for-
the
He has
shirt
one
I'm
right now
wearing
for-
now.
Yeah.
Actually had cancer. and
that's
he
cool.
Young man who had cancer, so they get involved in all these very heavily with veteran rides. And they just do a
Good for
ton
them.
of great organizations.
If you ever need a fundraiser and you want money
I
for
tell you
your
what,
for your
Contact Hudson Valley
Serious.
Biker
Yep.
Network.
So if you go to on Facebook, go to Hudson Valley Bike, and they're doing now where we have all these big events planned. They're going to do a big, hopefully, I don't hope they don't get mad, but indoor bike show in January. I don't want to give out too much out of the bag.
Okay, We're leaking a lot of secrets this morning on
I
the
know.
show, aren't we?
Anyway, but they're great.
He is. I'm not.
Right.
And O'Connor and Partners has been phenomenal too. They've jumped on board.
Yeah, talk about some of your sponsors. I know you
so
want to
they've
give a shout
jumped
out.
on board the last year or so with us, and it has been involved with a lot of stuff, financially giving and giving stuff and money to organizations and helping out with riders who have gone down and stuff like that. So they have been, like Joe and Ernestina and Kevin and Regina have been phenomenal. They've come to all these events, all these motorcycle events we do, and show a lot of support financially and just informationally with riders who, a lot of people don't realize you're not with your insurance. If you go down and liabilities and stuff like that, they're the best. They are the best, and they're all over. So I always, but the Hudson Valley Biker Network, I tell you what, they do. It'll be 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and Ray and Eddie are just, they're buzzing your phone about, hey, listen, we got to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this, and so
I do a lot of events. I got to see. Here's
Yeah.
one I would like:
Oh, they're
cigars,
all over.
cars, and handlebars.
Oh, that's the one he
I'm
wants
going-
to go to. Are
Yes,
you on their
I'm
website?
going to that next Tuesday. That's
You
huge.
should go with them.
If you go to Hudson Valley Biker Network, you will see all the events.
Go on there and like it. You can like the page. and-
Cars, and
can-
handlebars.
You like that, right?
I was just hanging with a lot of bikers out in Sturgis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I told
Deadwood,
him you
I
went.
didn't
But it's
know.
grown.
that
That is,
Sturgis
he
was out
actually
there.
wants to go
Yeah,
to
I'm going to go to
Sturgis.
Sturgis. That's on my bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys are
It was
chucking
interesting.
horseshoes.
Yeah, it's
and
fun. You gotta get a bike
They're
valve.
involved in everything. I'm gonna tell you.
That's
and,
good.
and from Dutchess
Good for them.
County, from I would say probably Westchester all the way up. We're trying to expand a little bit further north. that's my goal now. Is I've been told to go to the Albany area.
You're the northern.
I've been told to go expand to the Albany area now.
Jeez.
To try to get stuff up there, but yeah.
Well, see, that's
great.
We talk a lot about all the negativity and how this world is divided. And
Right.
We talked about that earlier. It's organizations like this that bring people together, for a positive cause, for a good thing, And this is where we got to put our efforts and focus and energy. And it defeats the negativity out there. It's
especially with the motorcycles, because I would go into you go into these restaurants, and you're talking. And I would go to I go and I say, "What's your worst business night of the week?" And they would tell me like whatever, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's the slowest night. And I said, well, how would you feel about doing a motorcycle night? And then first of all, they're like,
yeah, they get a little.
What does that mean? What does that entail?
All of a sudden they've got a bad vibe.
Angels,
so they think it's going down. So they're like, well, explain further what you're talking about. And I'm like, listen, I said, you don't understand. I said, the majority of these people that are coming in here are they're dentists, doctors, lawyers. They are great.
Tradespeople.
All they care about is helping people, and they'll spend money in your place.
Right.
So once you start doing it, they're like, "That was the best night we've had." And the greatest people, and they're like, "Come back."
You don't need a bike to go to them. You just go and hang out. I mean,
and that's the narrative too with the motorcycle thing. Everybody thinks every biker, and it's changed so much.
It's a stereotype.
Changed so much.
Stereotype, a bad one.
My family has a close connection with Sergeant Eddie Ryan, who was a Marine wounded by friendly fire, shot in the head in Iraq in 2005, I want to say. And my dad and my brothers actually went fishing with him yesterday.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, my dad took
awesome.
him. Actually, he had a dream he wanted to go shark hunting.
Oh,
and
nice.
He took him down to Long Island. They made it happen, and they
That is
very
absolutely
cool.
amazing.
Wow.
But anyway, my point is, Eddie lived in Ellenville, and it was actually our sheriff Figueroa that showed up to Ellenville to let his family know that he had been escorted the family to the down to New York City to get on a plane. But anyhow, he had to move from Ellenville up to Lake George in order to be closer to the services that he needed. He's in a wheelchair.
VA hospital up there.
Yeah. And but my point is, we go up to see him a lot in Lake George, and it's always the bikers.
Oh, they're the best.
They help him. You got to pick up his wheelchair. I mean, he's a big guy. He's 6, whatever.
Wow.
And being partially paralyzed, it's the dead weight is so heavy.
Yeah, I know about that.
But it's always the bikers that are there all the time for him. They show up, for that family time and time again, because he lives at home with his mom and dad. So yeah, kudos to the bikers.
Absolutely. Danielle, have you done other fundraisers for St. Jude's? Or is this one
just
of the
like
first
I said, last year with the mask was like, because my dad passed away in 2019, so this is my first big event for St. Jude's.
Right. So you kind of see this to be an annual thing, or
I would like to be, yeah. I think I'm going to do it and make it bigger and better every year, hopefully.
I love it. I think it's a great community day.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it gets so big, I don't know if we'll handle it in the parking lot.
The park in Port Ewing.
That's a great idea.
Great there.
That is a good idea. You can park on the lawn too.
I know.
That's a great idea. You got the pavilion there.
It's fun because
the park there.
Yeah. Big space.
There's a lot of things.
Big space.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All field.
I can't wait.
But I got to give her credit. I got to give my wife a lot of credit, because like I said, everybody's always running to me like, "Oh, when's your?" I said, "It's not my event." I said, "It's not my event." I said, she's really taking the reins to do this every year.
For you, yeah.
Like I said, during COVID, she's like, "Oh, I want to do the wristbands," and I tell you what, man, they were buying them wristbands. We were ran short.
I just want to sell stuff and donate.
That's great.
He would say that. I mean, Albert always said, "Take care of the kids." He was very adamant about that. Take care of the kids. Take care of the kids.
Yeah, he's
very adamant about it.
And again, we talk about bringing the community together, all this bad stuff that's happening. These are examples where the community comes together,
and they do.
It's initiatives like this, and it's black, white.
You're right.
Anything
orange,
doesn't
green,
matter. Yep.
We don't care.
And I think
common support.
And I think like me and Val talked a lot. Like you said, it's been, we always talk about the bad, but I tell you what, when this comes time for things like this, this community always comes together.
Always,
it really does.
Always comes together.
It's true.
It's just I always we always bash the mayor, the roads, this and that, but as a community, as our own people, I just think we do very well amongst ourselves when it comes when it hits the wall. You know what I mean?
That's
and
true.
I think it's a lot of it. And I always say that I think we live in a very special
of course,
community.
I think we do.
And I think a lot of it too is the deep roots of the community.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, you were my security guard in high school. Like I've known,
Thanks,
you know,
Val.
you were but you know, we all
now we know how old he is.
Thanks, Val.
And here he is.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know.
And then, you know, and you grow up and it's like I'm friendly with my parents' generation and their friends. And it's just, it's really, you know, until recently, nobody really came to Kingston because they came to
You
Kingston.
tried to run out of here.
You-
When you were like, I'm kidding.
Let's get out of here. It's train out.
We're here because they have roots
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and that's I think what makes it special, and I think that's why we take care of each other so well.
I can tell you that when I did my dad's event, when he was still alive in 2018 at Mariners, I could not believe how many people came out to his event. We raised $25,000 for my parents that day in like 4.5 hours.
That's amazing.
And that was all for them to pay for his medical bills because after a while it ran out.
You can't.
And I mean, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like it was like we ran out of food.
Yeah.
Like it was, I mean, people just came out to support this local Kingston man.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I mean, when he passed away, there was over 1,000 people that walked through the door to see him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is
You know,
saying a lot.
He never went to college. He never, little Kingston man grew up on South Wall Street, you know, in a house with his brothers, his siblings and his parents. And this
amazing.
he impacted so many people from just being who he was.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't need to be this, I mean, you could be, but you don't need to be if you have what you need to influence other people.
Yep.
And that's why I'm trying to keep this going for him.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's not for, it's for him. And he's not even here.
His legacy.
But
he
knows,
That's
you know.
cool. Yeah, that's
So
very
that's,
cool.
one little person can do a whole lot.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
Here or not.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And I love how you've kind of sprinkled him into it. You know, it's not really about the brain cancer. It's about, this is a charity that he loved. I love that. And I love how, the sheriff department's going to be involved because that was his place of employment and they loved him so much. And how you have the hot rods involved. And these are all
trying to undo everybody.
Trying to get everything involved.
Yeah. These are all pieces of
Good
who
for
your
you.
dad was, though.
Good too.
I mean, I will continue to advocate for brain
that's
cancer
good, man.
because
Let me
it's
know.
very,
Let me know.
it's a very
Let me know.
deadly thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But this isn't. It's not about it, but it's part of it. Like you said,
It is still part of it. Yeah.
Great. But I just wanted to say, at the end of the ride, my dad's buried at St. Anne's Cemetery in Sauk Hill, and when we come down Sauk Hill Road,
Oh, nice.
we're gonna honk those horns.
Oh, that's
crazy!
We'll loop down that way.
love that.
He actually did that for me. He told
Yeah,
me.
we're going to go down that way.
Thing.
That's amazing.
Danielle and Eddie Parker, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
guys.
you.
We still have time. We
Yes.
still have some time.
Let's recap really quick. If you're just tuning in, we're in the studio with Danielle Parker and Eddie Parker. They're going to have a fundraiser on Sunday, September.
That would be Sunday.
Don't worry, Val. We'll get you.
Sunday, September 12th. Show up at Myron if you want to register.
Town of Ulster, Myron.
Take
Yep.
it. Town of
So
Ulster.
Town of Ulster and Myron. So if you're not familiar,
Myron Liquor.
Yeah, Myron Liquor. It's a huge parking lot, which is right across from like Red Lobster on Albany Avenue or Ulster Avenue. So that's where the registration will be from 10 to 11.
That's a good reference point.
Yeah. Because
Red
I'm
Lobster.
going to put it up on
Works.
Facebook and the next couple of days because there's people coming from not familiar with the area. So that's why
We'll put the address
we'll
up.
put the physical address up and stuff like that. So like I said, an hour, 45-minute ride. Beautiful area to go around. We'll loop back around and then end up at the Bowery Dugout. The cars and motorcycles can park right in the Bowery Dugout parking lot.
If you're involved in the event.
If you're involved in the event.
If you want to come and just
Right.
support,
Right.
eat some good food,
That parking
hang
lot will
out.
be at the library.
You can come at 1
Knock
o'clock
Eddie
if
off
they're
his
a little early,
perch,
get a ticket.
you know?
Yeah. You don't have to
You know?
be in the car ride or motorcycle ride to come to the event. You just come at 1,
Right.
and everything will be in the lot there. So
All right,
I would
a big
encourage
Dunkin'
everybody to bring their kids out. If like you
yeah.
said, if
It's
you
a-
can't,
definitely a kid event.
ride,
Yeah.
yeah, 1
It's
to
a very
5.
friendly event. Yep.
Yep. I have a bouncy house.
Food.
Kareem Washington is
Yes, got thank Kareem.
Hank Kareem. He's coming and setting all the stuff up. So,
Yep, the New
but
York
yeah, our
State
sponsors
Police.
are
Oh, great.
Jeff Lipton from the Bowery Dugout, Hudson Valley Biker Network, and Connor and
O'Connor and Partners.
Nice, nice.
Jeff and like I said, Kareem He's helping with the bouncy house for the New York State Police.
Got everybody involved.
Yeah, we got everybody.
So you're a Steelers fan, you're a Bears fan.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys? How's that go?
We just
How's
ignore
that
each
keep
other
a
in the
marital marital cord.
Yeah, it ain't
Ignore
good.
each other.
Well, listen, we should be thanking you guys. You guys are always around in public doing everything.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you guys. I mean, this one's involved in everything. This one's involved in everything.
Right.
I just go
It
places.
takes
I'm
all
like, what are
of
you doing
us,
here?
yeah.
What are you doing here? So no.
I always love running into you guys.
Val and Tony,
But
you
it's
guys
like
do a
I
great
s-
thing
well,
for
thank
the
you, but it's how
community.
what we talked about earlier. It's how you defeat the negativism, the
Right.
negative
Yeah.
feelings, and we can either bitch about it or do something about it. You can either be
That's it.
part of the problem or part of the solution.
Right.
Be part of the solution. Support people in need. Right.
Yep.
Keep
And
moving
I
forward.
like
Yep.
I always say, I think I truly believe there's more good than bad.
Absolutely.
There's
Absolutely.
more kindness than hate.
Absolutely.
It's just seeking that out,
But the
finding
good
it,
folks
and embracing
don't.
it.
They don't talk as much as
And I
They
think
don't
that's
talk as
it
much.
too.
They don't
There's a
talk
lot
about-
of really loud
bad folks.
bad folk.
Bad folk. Yeah, they're too loud. I mean, they're-
Well, you will definitely see me.
they'll be
on
loud. They'll be loud. You guys will be loud on Sunday.
Oh, we'll be loud.
We'll be, and
You'll hear us
I know
coming.
my
We're-
parents are going to be doing the ride, and my brother and
Oh my
his kids are going to
gosh!
be doing the ride.
Yay, that's
and,
so exciting.
Yeah, and I will be there. I'm coming back from. I'm away on coming back on Sunday morning. I will be not in a car, but I will be at the party.
Yay, party it up.
Yeah, so we'll all be
Yep.
there. We're looking forward to it.
Can't
It'll
wait.
be a great
Thank you
day.
very
Wait.
much. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Thank you so much
Can't wait
for
to put
having
you in the
us,
booth,
too.
Val.
Unfortunately, we're down in Long Island.
After that
my-
comment about high school, you might find me in the booth.
Yes,
My
true.
other
Never seen you so upset.
my other daughter-in-law's birthday is 9/11.
Paying us for parents' fees?
I want you to throw some money into the till.
Oh, thank you so
I
much.
can't make it.
Thank you.
So we're
Thank you.
down
My
in
second,
we're down
my
in Long Island
second
wine
donation
country.
already.
We're down in wine country.
Good for you.
Good. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, that's Bree. Bree is she's a 9/11 birthday. So and
that's
Lauren is a 9/9. So it's easy for me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's
Part.
That's right. 9/11
Yeah.
is Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, I think we got to get
Okay.
skedaddling, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for
We'll see
having
you
Eddie
us.
Parker,
Sunday.
Thank
Danielle
you.
Parker, thank you guys.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks for all you do.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
Central Hudson's mobile app has a new look. It's the place to view and pay bills with ease. Check your electric and gas usage to better manage your energy consumption to save money. And report an outage, anytime, anywhere. Use the app to easily submit your meter reading to avoid estimated bills. Download it today from the App Store or Google Play. It's free and easy to use.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Thank you, Pandemic. All right, folks, this is Thunder Thursday, our last segment here, and this is Flash Tony Marmo.
Ba-ba-ba-boom, Val Dwyer. Happy Thursday.
Flash and boom.
And welcome to Tony DiMarco.
Yes, I'm going to put my specs on because I want to make sure I do this the
No,
right way.
that's why I introduced his name. I'm going to let you introduce his title. I'm a very bad co-host.
You're doing
smart
great.
Co-host, though.
Smart co-host. So Tony's a good friend, dear friend. We were talking about you earlier, and DiMarco's from Wappingers, going back a long time, land far, far away. I'm a Fishkill guy, Wappingers guy, managing director of GCSCEN, which is Global
Center for Social Entrepreneurship Network. So GCSCEN Foundation.
GCSCEN Foundation, and he is he's here today to talk. He's called an entrepreneur in residence, right? SUNY New Paltz School of Business. Our good friend Kristen Bacchus as dean. She's amazing. But Tony's been around IBMer for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And now have gotten, thankfully, into telling folks how to become better entrepreneurs, how to do some good business out there and be responsible, essentially, right? I mean, that's what you're doing. So, and you live locally. Where are you?
I'm in Poughkeepsie.
You're in Poughkeepsie.
I haven't wandered far. I've lived in the Hudson Valley my whole life.
Right.
Lived in Katona for about 6 years when I was with IBM.
Right.
But all in the valley.
Yeah. So tell us about and our good and Mike. You and Mike Haslin were on KCR in our old studios. So how do you like our new digs?
Nice.
It's pretty nice, huh?
Free parking.
Nice.
Ample parking.
Yeah.
Lawrence keeps it like the meat locker in Hannaford.
I know.
I
was going to say. I always dress accordingly.
I don't know how I lived in Florida
I need
for
like
8
feet
years.
warmers.
I really don't. Because I like it ice cold.
I know.
I like it ice cold when I go to sleep.
It's like 55.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm hanging meat.
I know. Anyway, so Mike Haslin, CEO and co-founder or founder of GCSCEN. So great guy, and I saw Mike and Irene at the Hooli just last Sunday. So he's a great guy. So tell us about. I know you want to talk about Evergreen Water Solutions Accelerator, but maybe just a wee bit about GCSCEN and what it's all about.
Sure. So GCSCEN is really focused on teaching social entrepreneurship, and we call it 4P impact: people, planet, and place, sustained by profit. So if you can have an impact, it's sort of added place to triple bottom line, since that's really important. Place-based investing is becoming a lot more important. You think about Kingston, how much place-based activity is going on right here.
Absolutely.
Noble Foundation and other charities. So we really started out in 2016 developing curriculum and teaching social entrepreneurship. One of our main clients is Wheaton College out of just outside of Boston. And it's taken many forms, an intensive boot camp. We do it in a social venture internship form. We've done that with Vassar College. We teach it as a 15-week semester course at SUNY New Paltz. We've really worked with about 12 different colleges and also adults. So we have social venture internship for college students, and we have social venture experience for adults. So that's the curriculum side of GCSCEN. That's been going on since 2016. And really over the last couple of years, we started developing our accelerator. And it was going to be sustainability, talk about 4P impact, people, planet, place. Sustainability is really aligned very well with that. And it was going to be a generic sustainability fund. And then as we started to engage people, we started to kind of get these signals that, focus on water. So just about 9 months ago, we made the decision to focus 100% on water. So we're going to launch the Evergreen, that's the brand, underneath GCSCEN Foundation, Evergreen Water Solutions Fund. And it's really going to be one of the first traditional accelerators in the Hudson Valley. So it's kind of plug an ecosystem whole. And that means that we invest significant amount of money in each company. It's a 3-month intensive program where we come in and we really get them to be investor ready so they could raise that next round of money. But we invest, we have to raise an $8.5 million fund to really get this thing going, and we're in that process right now. But once we have those funds in place, we'll invest anywhere between $100,000 and $160,000 per company. So it's a significant amount of money for these companies. It's a total of about $5.8 million gets invested directly in the companies.
So how do companies plug into this, or how do people plug into it? Website. I mean, it's a pretty weighty topic. I mean, what we try to do is make it easy for people to access and understand. So let's start out with a website.
Sure. So GCSCEN.com, and you can find Evergreen from there. So that's the first place to go. You can contact me, Tony, Tony, at GCSCEN.com. So contact me over my email anytime. We'll be out reaching out to people. It's really going to be a kind of a direct one-to-one campaign. In terms of the companies, there's going to be, we were going to start with kind of generic mixed, water solutions. And then we decided really that the best way to go is to have themed cohorts. So we're going to have 6 cohorts, 2 cohorts per year for 3 years. And by cohort, I mean that's the 3-month period of time. We have 7 companies that'll come in. These companies will be from all over the country, hopefully some local companies, and maybe even some international companies. Out of the 7, 4 will have manufactured products, and 3 will have software products, and they'll all be high growth. So if you're investing in the Evergreen Fund, you get a portfolio of 42 companies.
Okay. So it's an investment model. Is it also consultation in terms of?
Yeah, definitely. It's the 3-month program is heavy coaching and heavy mentoring. We do something called Mentor Swarm, where each company gets access to 100 different mentors in 20-minute segments over a period of about 2 weeks. So that's Mentor Swarm. And then we swarm them with mentors. And then we kind of go into coaching mode and get them ready with their investor pitch. And at the back end of the 3-month is Investor Swarm. And there they have 75 individual meetings with investors. And then at the very last is called Demo Day or Premiere Night, where they pitch to a larger group of investors. And hopefully that's where they start to raise their next round.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so I guess the why the water? I mean, what was the?
I was intrigued by that too.
The whole water issue is, we know it's, there's obviously a global problem, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, around here we don't have water scarcity, especially in the last couple of months. And had 12 inches of rain at our house in the last 10 days.
Right. Yeah.
But in other parts of the country, the Southwest, you see the stories in California, other parts in the world have water scarcity problems. There's some of the segments that we're looking at are emergency management. That kind of was a surprise to us that was top. But look at what happened with Ida and the flooding in New York.
Yeah,
so emergency management because of flooding is really big. Water conservation, water purification, water pollution prevention, water data and analytics, aging and vulnerable infrastructure, water scarcity, ag and water and energy, and then ocean cleanup with the plastics and microplastics in the water. So those are kind of the when we have a cohort, it's going to be one of those themes.
Yeah, interesting. But, what comes to mind is like the water problem that they had in Detroit not too long ago.
Yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Flint, and that was horrific.
Yeah, it's just a classic, aging infrastructure, lead in the pipes, and it's all over the country.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of the good news is there's a lot of infrastructure money that's going to be flowing, and hopefully a lot of it will be going towards solving some of the water infrastructure problems.
Interesting. And I've been down to Haiti a couple of times with Rotary. I talk about this a fair amount. And, the water quality down there is just horrific. First of all, they have no central water system, essentially, and they dig wells, and what comes out of it is not potable.
Right.
And then all kinds of diseases come out of that, and their healthcare system is essentially non-existent. So we go down there with these very simple water purification systems, and we just help villages, 5,000 people at a time.
Yeah.
That's about it. Bad water goes in and good water comes out.
That's it. I mean, we were down in St. Croix over the summer, a little bit of business, a little bit of vacation, and first thing I noticed was water trucks. I'm like, you never see a water truck around here, right? So there's water trucks, and I'm asking them, what's with the water trucks? And they're like, well, the main source of water is cisterns, where they collect the rainwater, and then it gets all scurvy and infected and everything, and then they got to clean them out, and they've got to replace the water. So GCSCEN is partnering with the University of Virgin Islands down there, and they have a big water organization with ocean, water quality. The other really crazy thing is the water trucks. They're surrounded by ocean water, beautiful, clean ocean water.
Right.
And they don't have a operating desalinization plant that would solve all their problems.
Yeah, right. It seems like a pretty easy one.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. Because as I'm looking at the map of the world over there, it's just water all over the place.
Yeah, 2/3 of the world covered by water, and we have a water problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's and what about locally, Tony? I mean, like the Hudson Valley. Are you seeing issues there? And are there companies popping up to maybe address some of the issues?
The Hudson. Why Hudson Valley was one of the reasons why we did this. The Hudson Valley's been the watershed for New York City for 200 years.
Yeah, right.
So we're partnered with Sustainable Hudson Valley, and David Dell is the chairman of the board. And David, always says that there's more PhDs in water science in the Hudson Valley than anywhere in the country.
Wow.
So because we've been the watershed for 200 years. We've been doing this, and we've been working with the DEC and the DEP for that long. So we're really on top of all kinds of water problems and leading edge water solutions. And there's a huge amount of nonprofits here, Riverkeeper, Water Coalition, things like that. I mean, we've got a list of about 150 different organizations that could be a coalition that could come together to support, what we're doing. And we're really kind of
Scenic Hudson, are they?
Yeah. Scenic Hudson is an applicable organization. So we see ourselves as kind of a catalyst to bring together kind of public sector and private sector. There's a lot of public sector stuff going on with the nonprofits, not much going on in the private sector. And so, we're really going to be working with for-profit companies so we can bring those two sectors together.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting model.
Yeah, we kind of forget that, that the show can is right in our backyard.
I know.
I mean, it's just, we go there to the bike or we forget, it's...
there's a lot of interesting water kind of stats, but, one is that's the Catskill water supply, in essence, is the largest unfiltered water supply to a municipality in the world.
Wow.
So most sources of water have to get filtered on the way to big cities. Our water gets pumped right to New York City unfiltered. And they do a lot to protect that, so they don't have to incur the cost of filtering. So there's a lot of, quality work that goes on to protect that water supply.
Absolutely, you could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's... especially, in these older cities, and Kingston is one of those, Poughkeepsie's one of those, just thinking about Flint again just for a second. We're replacing stuff all the time in Kingston. It feels like, the roads are dug up every 2 seconds.
Hopefully they replaced the water pipes while they were doing that.
There's definitely in New York, nature of my business, there's a lot of money that's pumped through infrastructure replacement with
construction
DEC so I think there's really a big push. But like you're saying, there are other parts of the country where it's not taken as seriously, I think, as they take it here in New York.
Yeah. It's interesting that you came, that GCSCEN came to this point, because it is kind of like the next
We've been working with Ulster County, Tim Wiedemann, and
great.
Economic Development.
He's a guest on our show.
And we asked them. We said, if we were to focus on these 5 things, which one would be most important? And they just said water without hesitating. That was just another signal for us. But so Ulster County's been a great partner with us and is kind of leading the charge.
Yeah. Interesting. Get back to New York City. I mean, I marvel at that. The whole aqueduct thing was like amazing, right? Whenever the hell they did that, I just like.
Yeah, there's a new one that just got completed. I mean, it's just all the way from Beacon to New York City. I mean, you could drive very secretive, but
Yeah.
You could probably put a pretty significant sized vehicle in that aqueduct and drive it. Into the city.
It is an amazing. There's a lot of things like that are amazing that you don't think about and you just take for granted. But yeah.
So you're a foundation. Is that as in a 501c3 foundation?
Yes.
Interesting. So not for profit model.
Yeah, and we've got a
GCSEN is
GCSEN is a 501c3. Yeah.
And Diana Davis Spencer Foundation is one of our major donors down in Washington D.C.
Okay.
She's an alum of Wheaton College, so that's why we've been a major supporter of Wheaton through our program.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So, and I know Mike has a really great background. I went on the website, Caslin, I guess founder or co-founder, CEO. And you have a board, right? You have a board of...
Mike is a recently named Fulbright scholar, so he'll be doing a little stint over in Ireland, kind of teaching social entrepreneurship over there through Letterkenny Institute.
Wow. I mean, that whole issue about social entrepreneurship, usually if you think of an entrepreneur, you think about, some of the storied people like Bezos and Gates and that make billions, and I think they became socially responsible maybe after they made all their money. Right? Maybe like
I think that happens a lot.
I have like 50 billion.
It's called guilt. It's called guilt.
Exactly.
It's called PR.
Yeah, that too.
That's true, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Then I always laugh at the people that actually buy into it. That I'm like, you're completely against how he got all.
Yeah, I mean that's really, you think of most big corporations. They realized, wow, it doesn't look so good what we're doing to the environment.
Right.
And we've got to do something. So they have corporate social responsibility officers, and it's really kind of marketing and PR. But now they're getting more serious. Now they have chief sustainability officers, and that's doing more significant things.
Yeah.
And the difference with social entrepreneurship is it's embedded into the core strategy.
Yeah, right.
And that's not really happening at the Fortune 1000 companies right now. Hopefully over time. But as a small business, you can do it. You can say, all right, we're going to have an impact on people, on planet, and place. And yes, we're focused on profit so that we can continue to have that impact.
Right.
So it just becomes a more intentional, purposeful part of your strategy instead of marketing and PR.
Yeah. I think it's a great approach, a great strategy for people that are starting businesses or even in businesses now. So give some contact information again, just so we do that a few times if people want to either.
People are just tuning in.
Or GCSCEN.com or email me, Tony, Tony, at GCSCEN.com.
Great. Yeah, that's good.
And you have your offices are located?
Yeah, right in Kingston. We're right off of Old Neighborhood Road.
Okay.
We're located on the second floor of Fala Technologies, which is an amazing partner. That's the other really interesting thing, is that we picked the fact that there's going to be 4 companies with manufactured product because a lot of startups have great ideas for product, but they have no idea how to create a manufactured product out of it.
Right.
A production prototype, and that's what Fala does, which is amazing that we have that in our backyard. The other very cool thing from a local economy perspective is the Hudson Valley Current, which started here in the Hudson Valley with Chris Hewitt in Kingston. So of the $5.8 million that gets invested directly in the companies, we're going to require that 50% of that has to be spent locally here while they're here for 3 months. And we're planning to use the current. So what we'll say is, let's say we're giving the company $160,000 to invest in them. We'll say, okay, here's $80,000 in cash. You can spend that however you want. And here's 80,000 Hudson Valley currents, which is the equivalent of $80,000. And you can only spend that with
Locally.
service providers here,
Yeah.
with anybody who accepts the current. So we really have a big,
$5 bill of this current stuff.
Do
It's-
you
Yes,
really?
yes.
yeah, and you can only spend it with local. You can't spend it at Home Depot or Walmart
Is this
because the money disappears.
I don't know. I don't think Novo has to do with this one.
Well, they are supporting.
Oh, they are
it.
supporting. it,
Yeah.
So speak about the Hudson Valley current. Bring me up to speed
Yeah,
on.
it's just it's a local currency, but you have to spend it in the Hudson Valley. And the beauty of it, if you think about it, I say, this is our own form of quantitative easing.
Yeah.
So we're raising this money, which is coming from investors. So the $5.8 million that is going directly into the companies is coming from investors. So it's coming out of Schwab accounts, coming out of Fidelity accounts. So it's coming out of Wall Street, and it's getting invested. 50% of that's getting invested locally. $2.8 million. And then it circulates forever. So it's $2.8 million new dollars to service providers like manufacturing, CPAs, marketing firms, tech firms, legal firms. They all love to serve entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs often have no money.
Yeah.
So now it's like, hey, they're going to come with 2.8 million currents. You just have to accept currents. And then
Do the banks accept those?
So this is where I'm going back to, because I have a financial background, so that's why I'm going back to the currents.
Right.
Where could one deposit currents? Like, can you go walk into Roundup Savings Bank or Ulster Savings Bank and deposit currents?
I don't think you can deposit them, but you can spend them. So they're building a list of, they've got like 300, vendors that you can spend.
So it's more of an
currents.
electronic currency than a paper.
More electronic. They do have a paper version, but it's more electronic.
Yeah.
Very pretty money, by the
So
way.
like I can't go to Boyce's and buy a ice cream cone with a current.
You might be able to. I'm not sure if they're on the list, but that's a local company. That'd be a good example.
How can you find out what's on the list?
I'm sure it's on their website. Yeah.
Might be a good future topic.
Maybe
for our
future guest.
Future guest.
So intrigued.
Yeah.
by
They're
that.
located right over on Broadway in Tildes. I'm heading over there right after this for
Cool.
breakfast to meet Chris.
Get some currents.
Yeah.
What's the person's name again that's in
Chris Hewitt.
Chris Hewitt.
Yeah, you should have him on one of
Yeah,
these
that's what-
times.
that's
He's
what- that's what
it'd be a great story. So yeah, that's a big local economy impact, injecting all that new money
Right.
to service providers. So one of the things that we're doing is, I mentioned, before coming on that we're hosting Venture Fest. So that's my other hat. My entrepreneur in residence hat is my part-time job at SUNY New Paltz. And we did Venture Fest in 2019 before COVID, and we had 300 people participate. So this is an event which brings the whole entrepreneur ecosystem together. So investors, entrepreneurs, and all the service providers and anybody else that's kind of interested, brings us all together. So we've got Michael Schumann as a keynote speaker. Michael is really one of the top experts on investing locally. So he'll do a keynote, and then that'll roll right into a panel that he'll moderate with all local
This is at
investing.
SUNY?
This is at SUNY New
SUNY New
Paltz
Paltz.
on October 13th.
Great.
And you can get there by newpaltz.edu/, let's see, I got to get this right.
I think if you just Google Venture Fest, you might.
Yeah, I
you
think
might
if you
find
just
it.
Google Venture Fest, you'll find
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
it's /Hudson Valley Venture Hub / Venture Fest. But if you Google Venture Fest, you'll find it. But one of the things we're doing there is we're gonna convene. We have breakouts after the keynote. One breakout is entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs, which is great. Another one is Hudson Valley Startup Fund is starting to talk about the next fund out there. I've been involved with that since 2016. And then we have a service provider breakout, which is to talk about all this new money we're going to inject through the Evergreen Accelerator through the Hudson Valley Current. So that'll be part of that. We're going to have a pitch fest and MWBE companies. They could be small company, small business, or high growth. So there'll be a pitch fest.
You're swimming
Yeah,
up?
I am. Yep.
Yeah. You don't have to be certified MWBE.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a small business, you could participate. But be great for you to come and engage the whole
13th.
ecosystem.
I'm thinking about going to this just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it's from 12 to 6:30.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah,
right?
it's a Wednesday. We end it with
when is it from when
some
to
German music and German food and beer.
Nice. What happened to the Italians?
Yeah.
What's the time of?
Well, it starts at noon and goes through 6:30.
Okay. Good. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
check that
Tony
out.
DiMarco, thank you. This has been great. Thank you for coming on. Don't be a stranger. Last time I think we had you on was like a year and change ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
We want to get you back on.
Very
Please say hi to
interesting.
Mike.
Did a little more research when we get off the
Right,
air. Very
right.
interesting.
And if you come back in the winter, the heat will be on.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Open the windows.
All right. Listen, thank you so much.
Yes, thanks
we
for coming.
appreciate it. What else? Any other final thoughts?
Be kind.
Be kind. Some random acts of kindness out there go a long way, right? We talk about that a lot, Don't be an idiot beeping the horn. Be gentle out there with your cars. Don't throw trash out the windows either.
Yeah,
right?
don't do that either.
We pick
don't
up
like
around
that.
the clover leaves. I can't tell you. I picked up just last Sunday rather. I went out, pick up around the clover leaves on 9W there. And man, I'll tell you what, it just boggles the mind what people roll down their window and throw out.
Yeah, I've noticed it uptown
Boggles
too.
the mind,
There's a
man.
lot more
I mean,
trash uptown.
I just, you can't find a trash can at a gas station or in your own home or God forbid.
Or the floor of your car.
But floor of your car works too. I don't care because I'm not in your car.
And I'll say it again. It's very simple. If you're raising children and you're a parent, it all starts at home.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. So anyway.
And remembering everybody, all the families that were impacted on 9/11.
Please keep those people in your thoughts and prayers, and hopefully, nothing like that ever happens again. All right, Lawrence, take it away.